Well, we've had the Quarian side of the story. Their Icarus-esque foray into the field of artificial intelligence ended up just as well as one might expect for them. But what of the Geth themselves? We know of the Geth, but what is a Geth? We asked the Geth platform known as Legion this question, to which it answered,
We are all Geth.
so we decided to do our own research. As mentioned before, the Geth are the race of synthetic beings originally created by the Quarians to be used as a labour force on Rannoch. This explains the name, which translates in Kellish, the Quarian language, to servant of the people. As a synthetic race, they do not feel pain as organics do, hence making them incredibly dangerous enemies, as one who does not feel pain does not fear it. Though that isn't the only trait that makes him so effective. While the Geth wouldn't exist without physical hardware, they are primarily software. This means that a single Geth platform, such as a Foot Soldier or a Geth Colossus, is made up of many Geth programs, which are each essentially like a virtual intelligence. However, they are also all connected, in a sort of cloud system, where all Geth platforms function as one through these programs. They share processing power and coordinate as if all are a part of the same organism. Since they are software, a Geth consciousness can upload to virtually any computer system, including extranet terminals, starships, and even Quarian environmental suits, which are largely tech. Each individual Geth program interacts with the others connected to its platform constantly. They all must reach consensus before any decision is made. The destruction of a Geth hub, basically a server, will be felt by others due to the loss of processing power. As such, a larger platform holding more programs such as an armature will be more heavily fortified to protect those inside. Although in most cases, if a Geth is killed, its consciousness is uploaded to the nearest Geth hub or platform, thus preserving the programs and processing. Since a Geth stays secluded, the destruction of a hub which would effectively annihilate any Geth program within is a very rare occurrence. For anyone who has no idea what any of that means, they're basically a hive mind. Geth history was mostly touched upon in the Quarian week, but there's still the Geth side of the story to consider. Once a Geth became self-aware, the Quarians panicked and began attacking in order to prevent an uprising. What they didn't consider, however, is that the Geth did not attack on their own. Once their own safety was in jeopardy, they did fight back with deadly force, but the conflict was initiated by the Quarians, fearing the Geth would lash out in revenge for being used as glorified appliances. After the Quarians retreated from their homeworld of Rannoch, the Geth seized their attack, no longer seeing their former masters as a threat. For some time after, the Geth, rather than taking up residence on Rannoch, decided to stay isolated, mostly existing inside hubs on various space stations in the Perseus field. Here, they continued to develop their own technology, trying to maintain their own existence. Their ultimate technological goal was an object reminiscent of a Dyson sphere, which would be used as a hub for every Geth consciousness. This went on for some time until the Geth were approached by the Reaper known as Sovereign, or the real name Nazara, with a proposition. It would help the Geth achieve this goal of theirs if the Geth would assist it in attacking the Citadel, thus launching the full Reaper invasion. While most of the Geth did refuse, a small number accepted Sovereign's offer. The group that left to assist the Reaper came to be known by other Geth as heretics, while the larger group of Geth who stayed behind continued their isolationist lifestyle. The heretics, under orders from Sovereign, began to actively assault inhabited worlds, leading to the Citadel's race's unfavourable opinion of the Geth as a whole. While not having much of a culture to speak of in the traditional sense, Geth have a nature all of their own. They stay secluded, usually only sending out mobile platforms to obtain resources. They also maintain the former Quarian worlds out of respect and in anticipation of their eventual return. The Geth, other than the heretics, hold the belief that they should carve out their own future, without the influence on other races. They also insist that other races, while not being required to do so, should be allowed that same option. Unfortunately, since most organic races' only interaction with the Geth are via the heretics, who usually attack on sight, they have come to believe that all Geth desire the destruction of all organics. Geth do not value individuality. Since each Geth platform consists of many programs all working in unison, the concept of an individual being seems inaccurate to them.
What is the individual in front of me called?
There is no individual. We are Geth.
Because of this, ideas that come with individuality, such as privacy or lying, do not occur to the Geth. Since they are all always in interaction with each other, any sort of deceit or sense of privacy are impossible. This does not mean that the Geth cannot lie. They can and will do so with other species in order to further their own goals, if they deem it necessary. In terms of notable Geth, unfortunately we're not spoiled for choice. Legion is the only Geth that is named within the trilogy, partly because the Geth are seen as an enemy faction, where in Mass Effect 1 you are almost always fighting Geth units. Here's a quote: "Organics fear us. We wish to understand, not incite." After the destruction of Sovereign, this particular Geth found the Normandy crash site on the planet Alchira and salvaged a piece of Shepard's N7 armor to repair itself where Alliance soldiers had shot him.
That doesn't explain why you used my armor to fix yourself.
There was a hole.
But why didn't you fix it sooner? Or with something else?
No data available.
Legion becomes a squad member to partake the suicide mission in Mass Effect 2, found aboard the Delirict Reaper. Legion plays a massive character role in the trilogy, despite only being in it for a short amount of time, mainly because you can only meet him nearing the end of the last two Mass Effect games. Legion helps Shepard to reach the Delirict Reaper's Mass Effect core, helps to destroy the virus threatening to make all Geth followers of the Reapers, guide Shepard throughout the consensus into the Quarian Geth history, and will also sacrifice himself on Rannoch to end the hostility and the war between the two races. So, with all that going on, why would we need another Geth mention? Legion was a perfect character. So, what do you think of the Geth? Are they misunderstood or just weird? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, it would be great of you to show your support by leaving a like on this video. And if you're a huge fan of Mass Effect, then why not hit that subscribe button? And until next time, I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye everyone.